Hello, I hope your day is going well. As I'm sitting outside by the campfire, I've been thinking about some of the difficult transitions and changes that you have to experience in your life. One of my least favorite places in this world, the physical space, is in a little room when you walk into the emergency room of St. Mary's Hospital in Rochester. And once you get past the nurse's station off to the left, there's a little room, and why I don't like that place is it's the space where I've been gathered in a few times with families when they learn devastating news. A number of times where they learned that a loved one of theirs was not going to survive. I think of the difficult changes that you go through. Some of you have lost loved ones in the past few months. There's other kinds of transitions as well. Those who are struggling, wondering about other health issues or other things in your life. Some who are worried about how to keep a business going, how to make a living, how to provide for your family. And in all those situations and more, we've got a lot of questions and often don't have a lot of answers. But one thing that I hope is a comfort for you and for me is God's promises. And one of my favorite Bible verses is from Isaiah 43, where God speaks through Isaiah and says, "I've called you by name and you are mine. And when you pass through the waters, I will be with you." You and I are people of the water. I've been thinking about it might sound like a goofy reference, but a number of years ago I had someone share about wildebeest, and I'm going to hold this little picture up. And as you can see, wildebeest are an interesting looking creature. Some say that they sort of look like God took the spare parts of a bunch of other animals, put it together to make the wildebeest. Now, the wildebeest is interesting, or as goofy as you might think they look, they are really good at swimming. And wildebeest, they do this amazing long migration. They'll travel miles and miles, and they'll cross all these different rivers and streams. But the interesting thing is, even though they're really good swimmers, that every time that they come up to a river or a stream, that herd will gather and they'll spread out along the bank, and they kind of flip out like they've never seen water before. And their anxiety is high, and the herd, though, from the back will keep moving forward. So finally, those up in the front, some of them can't help to get pushed into the water. And when they do, they kind of have that beaker flip out moment, but then go, "Oh yeah, that's right. We're wildebeests, right? We're creatures of the water." I'm not trying to downplay the things that you go through at all. Those are devastating, and none of those things are easy. But in the midst of that, when you and I come to the river of change, when we come to a new situation, and it has our anxiety high, and we wonder, how in the world is this going to be? I want you to be reminded that you are people of the water, that you are claimed and given an identity in the waters of baptism, where God said, "Child of God, I love you, and I'm never going to let you go," and I mean that. And so whatever river of change you are in now, as difficult as it is, and whatever questions that you have without the right answers, may you know God's promise. He says, "I promise to be with you. As you pass through the waters, I will be with you to see you through this day." I want to invite you to connect on this Sunday morning too for worship. And we're going to hear some stories about Jesus showing up and gathering with his disciples around a campfire. We're going to hear some folks share stories of the gift that their mom has been to them. And I'm also going to invite you, as we begin worship on Sunday morning at 8:30 or anytime you want to join in, would you bring some water? And we're going to do a little something with that come Sunday morning. So between now and then and always, may you indeed remember you are a person of the water, and God promises to go with you today and always. Amen.